Today on 9 News Mornings, investigators are trying to piece together what happened after a home in Denver exploded. We're live on scene with what we know. Leaders in Hawaii are creating shelters for people evacuating Maui and the Big Island as firefighters work to contain the 6 fires burning, the latest on the deadly situation there. Here in Colorado, you can feel it in your lungs when air quality is bad.
The more we learn, the more work is being done, the more we learn that air pollution is more concerning, it's more harmful than what we thought.
New research uncovering just how much air pollution impacts our health. And tonight, the boys in orange and blue are back. Our Broncos insider gives us a sneak peek of what's to come this preseason. 9 News Mornings starts now. I'm getting down to that music. All right. We're going to get to all those headlines in just a moment. But first, let's start you out by taking a live look outside. This is downtown Denver. Today, we're heating it up once again. 90s are on top to round out your work week. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. And clearly, we're very excited about the Broncos.
Right. I was going to say. Let's go Broncos country. It is time. We are going to find out what the team is made of tonight. We're dealing with a very different team this time around, too.
And they're starting on the road, so that should be a good test as well.
Yeah.
And they're starting the starters. They're actually putting them in. So, yeah, very different.
Meanwhile, for everybody back here, we're dealing with another day in the 90s.
Do you like a cool little weather fact?
Sure. What?
A cool little weather fact?
Yeah, bring it on.
After 10 straight days of 90-degree weather to end July, yesterday was the first 90-degree reading we've had in August.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we took 10 days to get another one.
Very unusual.
So, yeah, it really is. We've only had 18 90-degree days this year. So let's take a look at what we've got going on right now. And you see those temperatures, 50s and 60s over the eastern plains, 40s and 50s for the high country, and we're seeing 50s and 60s out to the west. We see this moisture flow just pushing across the state today. That'll develop some showers and thunderstorms a little bit later on from the mountains out to Denver, and really there's no severe weather to worry about as far as that goes. So today, 91 degrees, then 89 for Saturday, an isolated storm once again. Cold front goes on by, let's call it a cool front because only 82 on Sunday with scattered storms, 83 on Monday with an isolated storm. Right back to the warmth on Tuesday as we hit 88 degrees.
Awesome. Thank you, Ed. 5:02 is your time for this Friday morning. Right now, you are taking a live look. Eastbound lanes and westbound lanes on I-70. This is near Brighton Boulevard. We're looking pretty good this morning. No crashes to report in this area, but we do have some construction going on for those in Golden. Highway 6 is closed right now due to some construction between Highway 93 and Highway 40. Now, they are saying that the road should reopen right around 6 a.m., but I'm going to keep an eye and keep you updated throughout the morning.
All right, Brianna, thank you. A home in Denver exploded, and this morning we are getting a new look at the house, which was leveled all while people were inside.
Very scary situation. This happened in the Wash Park neighborhood near Baker. 9 News reporter Courtney Yoon is live there this morning. Courtney, so many people who live in a few block radius from this felt this explosion.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning, Corey and Jordan. A lot of people described that. They said they were in the area. They could feel the ground vibrating. They could feel the explosion in their chest here. It was all happening as people were coming home from work yesterday. I'm going to get out of the way so you can see what the destruction looks like here. You can see that whole exterior wall of this building. It's a fourplex residential building is down, and you can see into the actual building where the explosion happened. This is along South Lincoln Street near Virginia Avenue. Denver Fire says they arrived on scene last night and found all this rubble, but thankfully no flames. While we don't know what caused the explosion just yet, Xcel did turn off the gas and electricity. One person was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. A dog was sadly killed and another was rescued from the rubble. Witnesses nearby say they could feel the explosion in their chest and that ground vibrated beneath them.
And it was more than hearing it. I mean, you literally felt it in your body, and everyone just kind of stopped and turned, looked up to the street, and as everything got very quiet, and then you could see the debris rising up over the building. You know, and then the emergency vehicles succession started one after another after another.
And firefighters told us last night that they went to other buildings next to this one that exploded just to make sure that there weren't any other hazards inside those buildings or gas. Investigators are still trying to figure out how and why this explosion happened. Corey, Jordan.
Courtney, just the reports from people who felt this. I know that our director here, Mallory, felt it as well. And right after all of the fire trucks and everything, I mean, this was an explosion that was felt by a lot of people.
Yes, yes. Mallory was telling me about it this morning. She lives like a block and a half away. She said she was inside her apartment when the explosion happened, and she said it was so loud that she thought a car had hit her own building. Nothing had happened to her building. The explosion happened a block and a half away, and even she felt it. People who were around this area yesterday said it was crazy. They didn't know what was happening. But yeah, definitely a lot of people who witnessed that yesterday.
Yeah, which shows you just how big of an impact that truly had. All right, Courtney, thank you. Well, the prosecutors investigating a deadly shooting by Summit County law enforcement says the teenager they killed was carrying a BB gun, which the DA says it still counts as a handgun. The shooting happened nearly a month ago near Keystone. Investigators say 18-year-old Charlie Foster was walking around a neighborhood with what looked like a gun. The sheriff's office mental health team had been trying to help him for weeks. A Summit County deputy and a Dillon police officer found Foster in the neighborhood. Well, at the time, the sheriff's office told us that Foster pointed a gun at them, so they shot and killed him. The DA in Summit County told us that Foster was actually holding a BB gun, a replica of a pistol. The DA pointed to past cases in Colorado where BB guns were still considered deadly weapons. So far, everything we know about this shooting comes from law enforcement. We are trying to get the video from officers' body cameras to see exactly what happened. Law enforcement won't share the video until their investigation is over.
A year after Colorado prosecutors could start charging drug dealers with more serious crimes, the first person to be charged under Colorado's fentanyl law has reached a plea deal. This week, Andrea Branco pleaded guilty to distribution of fentanyl resulting in death. Kara Gorman died of an overdose at her apartment in Fort Collins nearly 1 year ago. Police found a text message she sent before she died asking for blues, short for fentanyl pills. Kara's boyfriend found her body. Last year, we spoke to Kara's friend, Katie, who told us they met in rehab. Katie stayed sober. Kara didn't.
We actually had a conversation one night where I was like, I'm terrified you're going to die. Like, every time I leave, or every time I see you using, I'm scared that the next time I see you, it'll be in a body bag. And it eventually happened.
Investigators found Branco through Kara's text. Prosecutors charged her with felony distribution resulting in death and drug possession. Court records show she pleaded guilty to the first charge and the second was dismissed. She's due to be sentenced in October. She could spend 8 to 32 years in prison.
5 Americans who were held hostage for years in Iran finally out of prison and one step closer to coming home. The Americans are out of Tehran's notorious Evin prison and temporarily under house arrest in Iran. Before they can come home, Iran will get $6 billion of its oil revenue for humanitarian needs. Eventually, the U.S. is also expected to release several Iranians from American jails. Officials say the final transfer of the money and the release of the 5 Americans is expected in about a month.
2 Donald Trump employees were in court in Florida regarding their roles in the handling of classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. Walt Nauta pleaded not guilty. Mar-a-Lago property manager Carlos D. Oliveira didn't enter a plea. That's because he wasn't able to hire a local lawyer before the court hearing. The 2 are both accused of conspiring with Trump to either stop or slow down investigators' efforts to retrieve classified files from Mar-a-Lago. Former President Trump has pleaded not guilty to 40 counts.
An update for you this morning. 55 people dead in one of our country's deadliest wildfires in a century, and first responders aren't done searching the destruction. The fires burned down more than 1,000 buildings, and they are still smoldering this morning. The historic town of Lahaina and its centuries-old landmarks are all gone. Survivors and shelters say they barely made it out, escaping through smoke and flames. Some watched their community burn from boats. Families are trying to track down missing loved ones, which is tough with cell service and power still down. Maui residents are asking why the state's emergency warning system didn't alert them about the fire. Leaders in Honolulu are prepping a convention center to shelter thousands of people flown off the island. There are 6 fires burning in Maui and the Big Island, none fully contained, but the Lahaina fire is now 80% contained. This morning, Coloradans are heading to Hawaii to help as well. The Red Cross of Colorado and Wyoming is sending disaster responders to provide support and recovery assistance. One of the first volunteers from Fort Collins is scheduled to get on a flight to Hawaii in just a few hours. In the meantime, Hawaii's governor is asking for all the help they can get to house those who have lost everything.
On Colorado's smokiest, smoggiest days, you can feel it in your eyes and in your chest. Researchers are finding new evidence that the toll of bad air lasts long after the skies are clear. A new study published this week found as air pollution got worse, they saw more people with resistance to antibiotics. That makes it harder to fight off infections. Researchers think antibiotic-resistant genes can hop onto particles in the air, then get a ride into people's lungs.
What I've seen increasingly and consistently is that the more we learn, the more work is being done, the more we learn that air pollution is more concerning, it's more harmful than what we thought 5, 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Scientists are working on further research to better understand how pollution and antibiotic resistance could be connected.
Some scientists are worried that climate change might make West Nile virus spread more. That's because the warmer temperatures and additional rainfall can make it easier for mosquitoes to reproduce. The same conditions also make it easier for the virus to replicate and may also help the virus spread to areas that have not seen it quite yet.
Signs of drought are creeping back into Colorado, and with it, we've seen more fire activity in parts of the state. While the Front Range has seen plenty of rain this spring and summer, western Colorado has seen very little. 12% of the state, mostly in southwest Colorado, is listed as having moderate drought. More than a quarter is considered abnormally dry. It is still much better than how the year began, with 42% of the state in moderate drought or worse.